Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the dismissive avoidance and their indirect text messages. I just wanted to come on here and let you know that we are doing a all access pass membership sale for our lifetime membership to the Personal Development School. So this will be 40% off. It gives you access to literally everything on our platform for life. So I hope you jump on board and join me. And basically you get access to all of the courses we have at the Personal Development School, as well as the ones we continue to add each and every month, as well as the personalized programs for each attachment style on their path to becoming securely attached, along with the 4 live webinars I do every single week with our students and our community. And we also have daily community events with different facilitators. So guided morning and evening routines, meditations, deep conversation and connection questions, online dating tips and tools, so many different community events that are guided by our trained facilitators. And you get access to literally all of this for life. And again, we're running it for 40% off right now. If you want to jump on board, join me, check it out. Also, if you are an existing student at the Personal Development School, not only do you get access to this sale, but also a small discounted rate for any past payments you've made for being a student already. So you can upgrade your lifetime membership, and you can just inquire and get all that information by emailing info@personaldevelopmentschool.com. And what I want to really share with you in the video is sort of the context and some insight as to why you may get a lot of indirectness in your text message exchange with dismissive avoidance. So my first question for you is, have you ever had a text message exchange with a dismissive avoidant friend, family member, or romantic partner, especially, where you're saying something like, hey, are we still getting together this weekend? Are we still hanging out? What's the plan for tomorrow? Are we still going on the date? Are we still going out for dinner? Something direct and clear, especially if there's been like an established conversation about this before. And then you get an indirect response. So this could be something like the DA saying back to you, I'm just walking my dog or, oh, I'm just having some car trouble and taking my car in, but they're not really answering the question. They're not saying, I won't be able to make it because I'm having car trouble, or, I'll let you know within an hour. Like there's not this like direct communication taking place. It's almost this like open-ended, ambiguous sort of dialogue that's happening. And on the receiving end of that can feel very frustrating. And very disheartening and confusing and all sorts of different things. So I thought this would be really wonderful to discuss because of the fact that A, we can also like gain insight into what's going on for the dismissive avoidant, B, help not take it so personally if you are on the receiving end of that, and C, get some strategies for like what to do when this type of communication takes place. So first and foremost, let's say that you're in this situation, okay? Why is the dismissive avoidant doing this? What's going on? Well, dismissive avoidants tend to try to walk this sort of fine line where they often want connection but fear it at the same time. And it's like they want connection, but sometimes they fear what really comes with it, the commitment, this fear of rejection if they're not showing up well. They tend to, if they're not feeling 100%, not like go and just try to show up and follow through with the plans, but they prefer to sort of like only want to do things when they truly 100% feel like it. Like they're not used to making a lot of those compromises because they come from a childhood of emotional neglect where usually there weren't a lot of compromises modeled to them in the first place. So you have that's playing a role in a factor, but then also you have this fact that dismissive avoidants tend to avoid conflict. They really don't like conflict, and they tend to avoid saying or doing things that they think could maybe get them in trouble or get them shamed or criticized. And it's because they don't want to feel those shame wounds, but they also tend to not really want to rock the boat. And so they try to walk this fine line of being safe. Now, I've had many conversations with dismissive avoidant clients over the years and had discussions where I actually asked, like, hey, why aren't you answering something directly? What's going on for you? And consistently, I would get answers like, oh, well, I just didn't want to cause a problem. I wasn't sure if I would change my mind. I was sort of having mixed feelings about the situation. And usually the vast majority of the time, and of course, it's mindful to recognize that there could be different cases based on like the different compatibility of the individuals. But the vast majority of the time, I would also hear things like, oh, I'm really interested, but I just didn't feel like hanging out, or I'm really interested, but I don't know if it was the right time. I wasn't feeling 100%. I didn't want to show up halfway. And so you'll get this really interesting dialogue where the dismissive avoidant, when they're in that position of being in their feelings, competing with their fears, of not wanting to rock the boat, of being unsure about how they're going to feel, and sort of fearful of the commitment dynamics, and then not wanting to get like in trouble or criticized and shamed, it leads them to this place where they sort of feel pulled in two different directions. And that's why you get that very gray area answer, that very like ambiguous, vague sort of response. So if you're on the receiving end of that, that can feel really frustrating, but it's important to not take that personally, just by gaining that insight and understanding and being able to realize like, hey, this is what's sort of probably going on for that person. And it doesn't make it mean that I'm not good enough, that I'm not interesting enough, that I'm not, because it's so easy for the mind, when we still have wounds from childhood or from past experiences, it's so easy for the mind to give meaning based on our own unresolved insecurities and fears, right? So it's so easy, if you have this wound where you think I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable, or I'm unworthy, to just insert that as the idea as to why this is happening. And it's really important that we don't allow other people's wounds of any other attachment style to define what we feel about ourselves as people, right? It's like somebody else's behaviors shouldn't define my character or who I am. So just remembering this and not taking it personally is really important. And then I'm going to tell you what to do. But before I do, if you want to do a much deeper dive into a lot of this content and material, you can check out the dismissive avoidant attachment style in the 6 stages of relationships. And you can really do a deep dive into like what's taking place across the 6 stages of relationships, how a DA is in the dating stage, what the pain points, communication challenges are, what the habits and patterns are that are likely to come up. And you can also check out the course that we have that's about your attachment style. We have them for all the attachment styles with a dismissive avoidant. We have the FA with the DA, the AP with the DA. We have the secure with the DA. So all the different sort of dynamics that take place, there are courses for all of that. So you can check those all out for free for 7 days using the link in the description box below. So what do you do if you're in this situation? Well, one of the first things is you have to value your time, right? It's really important that what you don't do is walk on eggshells and enable this pattern of behavior. It's not coming from this like malicious place. It doesn't make the DA like a bad person, but it's not really constructive for the sake of a relationship, especially for a relationship moving forward. Now, I've had many conversations with people over the years who get afraid, and they really get afraid of rejection more than anything else. Like, what if I say something or tell the person that I, need to see them or something like that, and then I get rejected? And my answer for this is you don't have to tell the person like you need to see them, but you can tell them that like you value your time, you're trying to figure out if you're going to make other plans or not, and you need some context. And you doing that, listen, if somebody's not ready to be in a romantic relationship and they're not really looking for something like that, then they'll walk away over something small. And all that does is just allow you to really see and understand that that person's not in a place to participate in something you may be looking for. And if that's the case, it's better you find that out early than sort of get caught up in this relationship dynamic for a long period of time, only to then have something not really work out the way that you hoped or planned. So I don't think we should ever shrink ourselves or deny our own needs or walk on eggshells as a means of like gaining approval, as a means to then see if somebody is the right fit for a relationship. Like, no, you should show up, share what you want, share what your needs are, live in your truth. And somebody's either on board or not, and you need to know one way or another. So I've always shared this with clients historically. It's like, you need to just say to the person, hey, let's say the person says something about their car, be like, hey, I'm sorry to hear that about your car. Just to be clear, do you want to find some other way to hang out? Are you looking to spend time together or not? I just want to know so that I can make plans for my weekend. And you can say it in a very non-pressuring way. You can even say like, no pressure. And you can add that in there, but it doesn't mean that you should just sit around waiting or walk on eggshells or, make all these plans just in case the person doesn't fall through and then change them when they do. Like, it's really important that you honor yourself, your needs, and your boundaries. So you can share something along those lines of saying, just to be clear, or just so I'm clear, and putting in something like that so that you're letting the person know that you're clarifying, right? You're not allowing this like ambiguous sort of dynamic to take place. And then you can say, no pressure. I hope everything's good, but I need to know what's going on so I can make other plans if you're not available. And please let me know. And you have a right as a human being to be able to communicate that way, whether it's with a dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant or any other attachment style, because you have a divine right to your own time and honoring that. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to communicate. And if that's something that's going to make somebody pull away or walk away from a relationship, then it was going to happen one way or another anyways. So I hope this makes sense. And let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions about this or communication, direct, indirect communication, any of that stuff at all. And I'm glad to answer any questions you might have. If you have any other questions, let me know. And thank you for being here and watching. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.